The graduated filter in Lightroom allows you to set tonal adjustments gradually across a specific area of an image. I'll show you in this video how to work with this very useful feature. So the graduated filter is found here in the tool strip underneath the histogram. Let me close the histogram so we have more room. And I'm going to select the graduated filter right here with this icon. I can also select it just by hitting the M key. So this reveals all the various controls we have over this graduated filter. So I'm going to start over here in my preview window. I'm going to hold down the Shift key and click from the top down. And the reason I'm holding down the Shift key is this is going to constrain my graduated filter to a right angle. So as I click and drag, you can see the graduated filter or the mask is being applied just to the area in the top part of my image. Now I'm going to show you what all these lines mean in a second. Let me just get this filter in place. Okay, I'll release now. Now in order to see the effect, I'm going to come over and just select the exposure slider. I'm going to move that all the way, not all the way, but part of the way down to the left just so you can see what it's doing to the sky. All right, so now let's go over and look at exactly what's happening. There's three lines. At the very top, this top line here, anything above this top line, you can see I'm clicking and dragging to move it down. Anything above this top line is being affected 100% by whatever I do over here in the on the right side. So the exposure minus 1.88, for example, is being applied from that point on above. But I want this to be a graduated filter. So let me move this back up to the top. And I want you to see how the graduated effect actually happens. And I can show that better by going down to the bottom line here, clicking and dragging on that. Now watch how I can compress that graduated effect. So it's making it very, very tight right there. And I can spread it out from the top to the bottom by just clicking and dragging down. Now if I place my cursor over the middle line here, you can see the double-headed arrow appears. I can now change the angle of that graduated filter. There you go, like that. So I can really fine-tune where it's placed. But by holding down the Shift key when I initially placed it, it gave me the right angle that I wanted. Okay, so the beauty, of course, is now I can go in, and once I have my graduated filter in place, I can come over here and start working these controls. I can move the exposure slider. I maybe went too far with it originally. Let's maybe bring it right about there. In this case, I think clarity will help bring out the sky a little bit. It sure does. There's not too much more I'm going to do. I can do a lot more. You can see all the various options, everything from changing the white balance and the tint, exposure, contrast, highlights. That can be really handy if you just have a part of your image where their highlights need to be recovered. You can use the highlight slider. Shadows, clarity, saturation. These are familiar controls from the basic panel in the develop module. And we also have sharpness, noise, moire, and defringing. And we can add color, specific color tints here, down here with the color box. Now once you've placed one graduated filter on an image, that doesn't mean you can't place more. So let me show you how to place another graduated filter on this image. I'm going to select New. And now you can see that dot in the middle of this point is gone. This is no longer active. If I move these sliders, it will not affect this anymore. But I'm going to create a new graduated filter. I'm going to once again hold down the Shift key, click and drag up. And I'm going to now control the bottom part of the image and bring the exposure down there. I don't think I need to do anything with clarity. I want to spread that effect a little bit more, so I'll grab that top line and lift up. There we go. So the point, what I'm trying to do, there's actually, there's a real benefit here from being able to place a couple graduated filters. With this particular image, I want the eye to be drawn to the street, to the buildings on the street. And by darkening the sky, making it more dramatic, and then darkening the grass, I bring the eye, I'm focusing the eye right into the middle part of the image where I want it to be. Now, if I don't like the effect Of course, I can go back and change it with the slider, but I can get rid of it entirely by just, when it's selected, when this particular graduated filter is selected, if I hit the delete key, it's gone. Now this one remains, but it's inactive until I select it. And now it's selected, and I can go back and fine-tune the settings there. Okay, so this is one fairly simple use of the graduated filter on this particular image. Let's go to another image, and I'll show you one more thing you can do with it that I find pretty useful. Select this image here. Now you can see this was shot on the West Coast, and you can get a hint of the setting sun up here in the upper left-hand corner, the golden light. Well, let's bring that light out more, but I want to bring it out kind of realistically looking over the water. I'm going to go ahead and select, well, it's already selected, select the graduated filter again. And this time I'm going to work with the white balance, or the temperature of just this area in here. So I'm going to start off in this corner here. I'm not going to hold down the shift key this time. I'm just going to click and drag. You can see it comes in at an angle now. And I'm going to bring this down, get it in place. And then I'm going to come over here to the temperature slider. And I'm going to just warm up that area, just kind of basically accentuating the setting sun. And I need to fine tune this a little bit. I need to bring that effect a little bit more throughout the image, and maybe even angle it differently so it's hitting the rocks up there as well. Okay, let's see, maybe a little bit of clarity on there. That'll bring out some of the spray, the highlights in the water there. Okay, so let's see how that looks in a side-by-side comparison. I'm going to go ahead and select the graduated filter now, which deselects it, and let's put those side by side. Okay, so now it really kind of changes this image, gives it a more sunsetty feel. And it's all done using the graduated filter in Lightroom, and it's always non-destructive like everything is in the Develop module. So this is just another great tool to improve your images in Lightroom.